Even when someone lets you go, even when they push you out of their life, the truth is this: you never truly leave their mind. Their thoughts circle back to you in quiet moments, in flashes of memory, in the gnawing awareness of what they lost or could not control. This isn't about obsession, it's about attachment, the invisible weight of someone who once held power over their emotions, whose presence shaped their world, and whose absence leaves an echo they cannot silence. You represented something real, something they wanted to possess but could not contain. And even as they act indifferent, part of them is tethered to you, replaying memories, reimagining moments, wondering what could have been. Stoic wisdom says the mind clings not to people, but to significance, and you are significant. Their attention, even in absence, is a reflection of your unshakable presence, a reminder that control, influence, and impact are not always dictated by proximity.
This is the cruel and fascinating truth of emotional bonds. Letting go in action does not erase the resonance of what you were to someone. And for you, understanding this transforms the narrative. You see that their mental revisiting is proof of your power, not a plea for reconciliation, and that knowledge itself is freedom.
The first truth to understand is that letting go does not equal forgetting, and closure is rarely what it seems. People may act as though they've moved on, as though your chapter in their life is neatly closed, but the mind rarely obeys such convenient endings. Memories linger, habits formed together echo in their daily life, and moments you shared replay in ways that feel almost automatic, like a recording stuck on loop. They may distract themselves, fill their days with other people, or bury themselves in work, but in quiet moments, alone in a car, in the shower, before sleep, the thoughts return. Stoic wisdom says the mind clings to what once mattered, not to what it claims is over, and this is precisely why they think about you. You existed in a space that shaped them, challenged them, or awakened them, and absence cannot erase the imprint of your presence.
It is not about obsession in its crude form. It is the echo of significance, the mind revisiting something it valued, whether consciously or not. You become a measuring stick they cannot shake, a reflection of a time, a standard of presence, calm and power that remains in their awareness, haunting them not because they are cruel, but because they are human. Even when they claim detachment, they are tethered by memory, by emotional patterns, and by the lingering impression of who you were in their life, and the realization of what they no longer have gnaws quietly beneath the surface.
The second layer of this truth is the echo of your presence, the ways in which your energy, habits, and character linger in their mind long after your physical absence. They remember more than you think. Your confidence, your calm composure, the way you carried yourself when others faltered, the unshakable core that made them feel both admiration and fear. These are not superficial memories. They are imprints of your essence, patterns they internalized without even realizing it. Stoic wisdom says the strongest influence is the one that remains after you leave the room, and that is exactly what you are in their mind, a constant, quiet benchmark they cannot replicate or forget. Every choice they make, every conversation they have, every person they interact with carries a shadow of you, a reference point they compare against your presence. Even if they consciously try to erase you, the unconscious mind is relentless. It keeps playing the tape, revisiting the moments that mattered, analyzing what worked and what was lost. This is why you see them seemingly moving on, while simultaneously still tethered to your energy. Your presence has become part of the architecture of their inner world, an invisible metric they cannot remove, a constant reminder of a standard they once encountered but can no longer command. The third aspect to understand is why absence amplifies their thoughts of you, why the very act of letting you go intensifies the imprint you left on their mind. Humans have a tendency to fill gaps, to obsess over what they no longer possess, and when you are gone, scarcity magnifies your value in their perception. Memories are no longer contextualized by shared moments. They are polished, exaggerated, idealized, and replayed in their mind like a film where every scene casts you in a perfect light. Every interaction takes on new significance. Stoic wisdom says desire and attachment thrive in the void, and absence creates that void in abundance. Even the smallest triggers, a familiar scent, a song, a mutual friend's mention, can pull their mind instantly back to you, igniting feelings they may have thought were buried. It's not about needing you back. Often it's about what you represented: power, calm, independence, or even just a mirror reflecting their own unacknowledged shortcomings. Like wind rushing through an empty house, your absence moves through the spaces you once occupied, disturbing the settled dust of their complacency, creating awareness of your prior impact. And because humans hate the unknown, their mind loops endlessly, trying to reconcile the gap, the loss, and the lingering influence you maintain even in silence. Your absence is not emptiness. It is presence magnified, a silent force that continues to shape their inner world without you ever stepping back into it. One of the most fascinating truths about letting go is that your absence often carries a kind of emotional debt. They may have released you physically, but the energy, memories, and unacknowledged feelings remain, circulating quietly in their mind. This is why even people who seem indifferent still think about you. The mind refuses to erase significance. They replay moments they wished they'd handled differently, reconsider the opportunities they lost, and wrestle with the contrast between what they wanted and what reality allowed. Stoic wisdom says the mind cannot escape what it has engraved, and this is where the invisible leverage of presence exists. You have left a mark they cannot undo. Recognizing this is powerful because it shifts your perspective. You are not haunted by them. They are haunted by the echo of what you embodied. And to truly understand and harness this dynamic, my guide, Surviving the Toxic Bond, available as both an audiobook and ebook, breaks down exactly how to recognize when your influence lingers, how to protect your energy, and how to turn that lingering presence into a source of clarity and inner strength. The audiobook is especially useful when you want to internalize these strategies in real time, reinforcing your calm, composure, and boundaries, while the ebook allows you to study each tactic step by step. Download it today through the link in the description and pinned comment and see how understanding emotional debt transforms your perception of power, presence, and detachment. Another subtle but powerful aspect is how even your silence, your inaction, or the simple act of moving forward with your life continues to pull at their mind. They may analyze every choice you make from afar, replay interactions in their head, and imagine scenarios in which things could have been different. This isn't conscious manipulation on your part. It's the natural consequence of leaving a lasting impression. Stoic wisdom says true power lies in presence without attachment, and when you live fully in your own path, detached from their approval or awareness, it only reinforces your significance. Their mind returns to you not because they control the narrative, but because your independence, composure, and calm are irreplaceable benchmarks they cannot replicate. Even small details, the way you handled a situation with poise, the boundaries you maintained, the clarity with which you acted, resurface constantly in their thoughts. This is why walking away is a demonstration of strength. You are untouchable, yet unforgettable. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below and write, "I remain untouchable," because saying it aloud cements the mindset and reinforces the truth that your presence lingers even when you are gone. This is not about ego. It is about understanding the invisible force of your impact and using it to remain grounded, calm, and in complete command of your own life. Section 6 reveals the difference between a narcissist's obsessive rumination and genuine reflection, and why it matters that you recognize which is which. Some people linger on your presence because they are selfishly calculating, trying to figure out how to regain control, manipulate, or repair what serves them, not because they truly value or respect you. Others, however, may revisit your memory in sincere contemplation, understanding mistakes, acknowledging loss, or feeling regret for what they allowed to slip away. Stoic wisdom says, clarity is born from observation without attachment, and seeing the distinction between manipulation and authentic reflection allows you to remain unmoved while still perceiving reality accurately. The key is that their mental revisiting, whether manipulative or reflective, does not define your value. It simply signals that your presence mattered enough to leave an impression. Like footprints on a riverbed, some are meant to erode quickly while others leave lasting marks. It is not your responsibility to differentiate them for them, only to recognize that both indicate your impact. Understanding this gives you an unshakable perspective. They may think about you endlessly, but you are free to continue your life without their thoughts dictating your emotions or decisions. Your strength lies in witnessing the echoes of your influence and remaining grounded, calm, and detached, letting their mind wander while you walk forward with unwavering certainty in your own power. Section 7 is where the true power of awareness comes into play, realizing that you do not need their validation even if they cannot stop thinking about you. The fact that someone's mind lingers on you is not a call to return, to explain, or to justify your worth. It is evidence of the impact you had and your role in their inner world, whether they admit it or not. Stoic wisdom says external opinions hold no authority over your inner fortress, and understanding that their thoughts exist independently of your peace allows you to rise above the emotional tug that their mental revisiting can create. You become like a mountain they glimpse from a distance, immovable, steadfast, and unconcerned with whether they acknowledge your presence or not. Even when they replay your interactions, analyze your decisions, or imagine what could have been, it does not disturb your calm because your value is rooted internally, not externally. This realization transforms the dynamic completely. You no longer chase validation or resolution, and their lingering thoughts lose any power to unsettle you. Your focus is on your life, your growth, and your serenity, while their mental energy circles around what they cannot control, your independence. In mastering this perspective, you see that presence in someone's mind is not a weapon to be wielded against you. It is a reflection of your own unshakable strength, and it cannot touch the peace you have cultivated within yourself. Section 8 explores how their lingering thoughts can become a source of your own confidence rather than a source of anxiety or longing. When you understand that they continue to think about you, not because of control or manipulation, but because of the impression you left, it shifts the dynamic completely. Their mental revisiting becomes evidence of your influence and the power of your presence. Stoic wisdom says power is rooted in what you control, and one of the most profound forms of control is mastery over your own perception. By observing that they are still attached to your memory without needing their approval, you convert what could feel like a haunting into a shield of calm, composure, and self-assuredness. It is the knowledge that you can live fully in your own life, detached and independent, while they remain mentally tethered to you, replaying scenarios they cannot rewrite. Metaphorically, it is like a lighthouse standing firm while the waves crash endlessly against the shore. The energy of the storm only emphasizes your stability and resilience. It does not erode it. This awareness allows you to move through life with grace, confident that your peace is untouchable, and that the echo of your presence in their mind is a silent testament to the strength, boundaries, and composure you have cultivated. Section 9 is about the art of moving forward, the way true mastery shows itself when you thrive while their mind remains entangled with your absence. The power is not in their lingering thoughts, but in your ability to live fully, unapologetically, and with purpose, regardless of whether they acknowledge it. Stoic wisdom says freedom is internal, and when you stop allowing someone else's mental orbit to dictate your emotions, you reclaim sovereignty over your life. Each decision you make, each goal you pursue, and each moment of calm you embody reinforces the reality that you are untouchable by their attachment or regret. Metaphorically, it is like the sun rising each day while shadows cling to the ground. Your light continues to expand and illuminate, while what remains stuck behind you only highlights the power of your movement. Thriving in this way forces the truth into perspective. They may dwell on you endlessly, but you are not trapped in their thoughts. You are free, advancing, and unshaken. The mastery lies in detachment, in allowing their mental revisiting to exist without it ever touching your peace, and in using the knowledge of their lingering attention as a mirror reflecting the strength, composure, and clarity you have cultivated within yourself. Each step forward is a declaration that your presence, both in the world and in their mind, cannot be dictated, diminished, or contained. Section 10 brings everything together with the ultimate Stoic perspective. Freedom comes when you understand that their thoughts of you do not define your value, nor can they touch the peace and power you have cultivated within yourself. Their mind may replay your presence endlessly, and they may revisit memories, imagine alternate scenarios, or wonder what could have been. But none of this can reach you unless you allow it. Stoic wisdom says that your inner fortress is inviolable, and no external reflection, even one rooted in obsession or nostalgia, can penetrate it without your consent. You become like a mountain, unmoved by storms, or like a lighthouse, steadfast as waves crash endlessly against your base. Their mental energy only underscores your stability rather than diminishes it. Recognizing this truth turns what could feel like haunting into liberation. You see their lingering thoughts not as chains, but as proof of your unshakable presence, and as a reminder that influence does not require control. The greatest victory is that you live fully, act decisively, and remain calm, composed, and autonomous, while their mind continues to orbit a reality you no longer occupy. Metaphorically, they are the shadows clinging to the ground, and you are the sun rising with unstoppable clarity. Their attachment cannot touch the warmth, the light, or the freedom you have claimed. In this mastery, you realize that they may remember you, but you never live in their mind. You live in your power, your purpose, and your peace, untouchable and sovereign in every sense. The reality is clear. They may think of you constantly, replay memories, or wonder what could have been. But none of it changes the fact that you are free, grounded, and untouchable. Their lingering thoughts are not a threat. They are a reflection of the impact you left and the power you maintain even in absence. Remember to use that knowledge as fuel for your own calm, composure, and growth, and to strengthen the boundaries that protect your energy and your peace. And if you want to reinforce that mastery and understand these dynamics even deeper, make sure to revisit Surviving the Toxic Bond, audiobook and ebook, link in the description and pinned comment. If this resonated, leave a comment below saying, "I live in my power," and let that affirmation root in your mind. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more insights, and share this with someone who needs to reclaim their presence and peace. Stoic wisdom reminds us, you are defined not by what others remember of you, but by the strength, clarity, and freedom you embody within yourself.